So yeah, the remaining percentage is when the competing motivator is just a little bit greater, and it's hard to keep him engaged and wanting to do things with me. I'll see where he goes with the slip lead. If I want to put him on a prong collar, I'll let you know. Again, the prong collar is used the exact same way. We're just lightly applying pressure. When he moves into that pressure, we will remove the pressure and reward, so that way he will understand how to turn any type of pressure off, and we can kind of navigate around those competing motivators. A big thing that I've been noticing with him, obedience-wise, he's amazing. He's really food motivated. He wants to do stuff with me, great. When we get around distractions, he gets really excited and barks and is very vocal and starts to fixate on them. So I kind of wanted to just go over a little bit what I'm doing with that right now. Yes. So outside of the markers, those are a big part of me working with him around what we'll call triggers. So it's people, other dogs, things like that. He sees them, he barks at them. So instead of just yelling at him all the time and making the problem worse, when we come across a trigger, if we are under threshold, meaning if he sees them, he's just noticing that he's not necessarily reacting to them. The moment he looks at the trigger, I mark with that yes, and then I run backwards and I play with him. I want him to associate those things with getting something really good from me or whoever his handler is at the moment. So I want to switch the value. He's obviously not aggressive. I think for him, or I know for him, when he sees other dogs or people, his reactivity is sourced from him being over social. The restraint of not being able to go say hi causes a little bit of frustration, and that's why he's just barking and wanting to go over to them. If we are more so at threshold or over threshold, meaning he's fixating on them, he's moving towards them, he's vocalizing over towards them, that's when I'm going to incorporate leash pressure and tell him, nope, let's go. So if we're walking around, and the moment he sees, let's say we're pretty close to the trigger, the moment that he sees the dog, I'm going to say, let's go, and pressure back towards me, play with him a little bit, get him engaging with me and all of that stuff. If I miss that mark, or they just come out of nowhere, or they're just immediately too close and he starts reacting, that's when I'm going to say, nope. And then as soon as he disengages from them, yes, I mark that moment. Oh my gosh. So I know, like, easier said than done. Let's say we're walking towards a trigger, he sees them, he doesn't respond to the marker because he's too over threshold, and he starts moving towards them, barking. I'm going to say no, tap back towards me, and let's say he doesn't immediately respond to the pressure, he braces against it and positions himself still towards them. I'm not going to stop and wait for him to turn. I'm going to keep moving, and I can't really demonstrate it because there's nothing in here, but I'm going to keep moving backwards away from the trigger until he turns and faces me, and at that moment I'm going to mark with that yes and then pay him. So that's where we are right now. Earlier this week I was a lot of practicing with that. Today, don't you manage? Today was the first day that we've been walking the tire shop, the auto shop right here. All of the guys are always like outside walking around doing stuff. Today was the first day that we walked through it. He looked at them and looked back up at me, and I was able to play with him and be silly. So now he and I are ready to go to new situations. I feel like he's okay with everything happening here. He's desensitized to it. He understands that I'm going to play with him and be silly. He's not allowed to have those reactions to the things happening around him. But I want to proof that, and I want to generalize that in different settings. So that's where we are right now. This week was, again, just about helping him to understand leash pressure and to work on his distractions around people and dogs and things of that nature. We'll probably go to Home Depot and to different parks and things like that to help him understand that that's his expected response and behavior in all of those settings. Otherwise, obedience, again, he's really great. Sit, good, down, good, kiss. Yeah, I don't know if this is in the shot. Okay,